All right, so I just wrapped up the filming of the video you're about to watch, and I just wanted to stop in the beginning and let you know that we always like to keep it light and have fun here. And today our conversation, we had fun. I mean, we did a seek and destroy on the hive beetles, and I think you're going to be amazed at what you see. So I hope you stick around to the end and have a look at it. But we also start talking about a topic that's kind of heavy. Usually we like to keep it light and have fun. Today we got a little bit heavy. And that's okay. I just want to let you know up front, this is not a political discussion. I don't care whether you're Republican, Independent, Democrat, or agnostic politically. And I hope you don't care what I am, and I'm not going to tell you what I am politically, because this has got nothing to do with politics. But the conversation does get a little heavy about something that I believe affects all of us. And I hope that if you agree with me, you let me know. If you have examples, you let me know. If you disagree with me, you let me know in the comments, but let's not be friends over it, okay? We all have something in common, and that's like we like being outside in the sun in our bee yards. We like honey, we like nature, we like bees. We all have something in common. And I like you just the way you are, says Mr. Rogers, and I hope you like me just the way I am. So don't be disillusioned by any conversation that happens here today. It's a kind of a heavy conversation about something that affects us all. I hope you stick around and enjoy it. And do me a favor, I usually ask at the end of the video, but in case you don't stay, if you like my video or you think you might, they're not always going to be this heavy if you're new to the channel. Do me a favor, give me a like, comment, and a subscribe. And if you dislike it before you leave, hit the dislike button. At least it helps the algorithm. That's fine and helps me get seen out there. I really appreciate that. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I really, really appreciate it because I put a lot of work into these videos. Now, let's get into the bees.
Hey bug farmers, welcome to Bug Farmer Beekeeping, where we dive into the world of apiculture, beekeeping, and bees every week. This is the place to share laughs, explore bees, and learn together, all without taking ourselves too seriously. To join our buzzing community, it's easy and it's free. Just hit the subscribe button, ring that bell, and let's cultivate beekeeping knowledge and fun together. Now, let's get into the bees.
Hi, and welcome back to the channel today. Well, today we are at the Honey Creek yard, and yes, you see it, the Beetle Sucker 5000. We are going to go on a beetle hunt today. A beetle extravaganza is what I'm expecting. Beetle palooza, there's a bunch of beetles partying in these hives. I know that's the case. Unlike last week, where we were at the farm and there was really nothing going on. And I mean, that's a good thing. I walked away from the farm with about 30 beetles in my Beetle Sucker. I have a feeling that we're going to be in the thousands here today, not because I have any inside info, but this bee yard spends more time in the shade throughout the day than the farm. The farm is in pretty much open sunshine for 90% of the day. This bee yard we have from, I would say 10 in the morning till 2 or 3 in the afternoon when the sun is right at its zenith, that we have full sun in the bee yard. Other than that, it's in the shade, and this bee yard has succumbed to beetles in several of the hives in the past. We've already lost 9 hives in this bee yard this spring. Now, we lost 4 initially to hive beetles and ants and wax moths, replaced those 4, and then we've lost 5 more. So I've got 5 dead out hives here from the last time we were here when I put the syrup out. That's when we saw those. I don't know that there's anything I'm going to be able to do about those until spring when I do my splits, but I'm going to go through the rest of the hives and make sure that they're okay and remove any beetles or beetle pressure that I find in those hives. Now, I've also got to do a little bit of weed eating around the hives. That's not going to be too much. I don't know whether it's even going to make it onto the cut. We'll find out what happens in the edit. But I'm going to weed eat, then get my gear the rest of the way on, and then we will get into these hives and go on our beetle hunt. And I know we're going to find some. Let's see what we can do. All right, all right, all right. Let's see what we got here. I need to get a holster for this thing. Definitely need a holster, like old Jim H. He actually sent me that picture and told me what it was. I'm gonna have to get on Amazon, see if I can find a tool or just a replacement holster for the tool that he uses, because it fits the Beetle Sucker 5000 perfectly. Let's go ahead and get the smoker lit. I'll put some knee pads on, and I can tell you this. While I was out there weed eating, those bees, I tell you what, especially the front half of the apiary, they're not happy. They were sticking on my face. I had so much banana in my face, it was crazy. Just crazy. Yikes. All right, let's see what we can do here. My good old Tractor Supply pine straw, love it. Love it. Now, I tell you what, we've got some interesting things to talk about today, because I saw something on my way over here, and I'm just gonna run it by you, see what you think about it. You may or may not be aware of it, and if you are aware of it, you may or may not like it. I know I'm in the I don't like it camp. Let that light, let me get my knee pads on. Oh, and I can tell you, I'm gonna give you a keto update, and I'm not gonna hide it in the video this time. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm at, 213 to 214 as far as the old weight goes, which is a good thing. Let me tell you, I'm eliminating my fat by leaps and bounds, and it is not a crash diet. Somebody commented and said that it was a crash diet. It's not a crash diet. I'm losing 2 to 3 pounds a week. I'm not crashing. I eat once, maybe twice a day, but all I'm eating is protein, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am getting my vitamins and mineral with a multivitamin, so don't worry about that. But I'm just not ingesting carbs or sugar. And let me tell you, carbs and sugar, that's the worst. I tell you what, it's really bad. High fructose corn syrup. Your body doesn't even process that. It just stores that immediately as fat as it processes the real sugar and turns that into energy for you. But I'm turning meat into energy, and I'm not storing anything. I'm trying to thin out a little bit, because I'm such a fatty. I don't like being a fatty. I want to become a skinny. All right, let's go get into the bees. All right, so let me tell you, I just had a very, very serious situation here. It looks like my camera started flaking out on me. I thought I was gonna have to buy a new camera, but I got it fixed. Just remove the battery, plug it back in. We're in good shape. Nothing that a reboot can't solve. Now, I'm in the shade. I apologize for that, but I'm expecting there to be a lot of hive beetles, and this hive, I'm expecting it to be a little bit aggressive, because it was when I was weed eating. Let's see what we can do here. I got water in the top of the buckets as well. Hello. Hello. Let's hope that it's not that bad. Let's get the plug here. Oh, that's a lot of bees. All right. All right. Okay, there you go, ladies. This hive's pretty strong, so I'm hoping that there's not going to be a lot of hive beetles in here, if any. Oh, there's one right there. Boom. Oh, and another one. Boom. Okay, I have a feeling we're going to have a hive beetle situation in here already. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, we're loaded with beetles. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh man, they're everywhere. Okay. All right. That was a lot of beetles. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more in here too. Oh yeah. Okay, that was not good, and I have a feeling we're going to find a bunch more down in the bottom. All right, let's see what we can see here. Oh, let's see. Oh, there they are. There they are. There you go. Oh, more down here now. Son of a gun. All right. Okay. Serious beetle pressure in this hive. Let's have a look at a couple of the frames. Holy moly. Yeah, who's your buddy now? Not trying to sting me in the face now. Yeah. Yeah. Who's your buddy? Who is your buddy? Oh, that is a nice brood frame with no hive beetles on it. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay. That is a nice brood frame. Holy cow. Okay, now bee, I smell a bee has just put the banana on me up here. Hey, you know all those beetles that you just had? I'm the guy that made them go away. It's me. Your friendly neighborhood beetle man. Oh, there's one beetle left on that frame. Let's get the... There you go. Okay. So we just had a visitor. I don't mind that kind of beetle, but it sees all of its brethren in there inside the tube. They're not getting out. Okay, there you go. We're gonna let you fly. All right. Let's see what else you got. I think we've pretty much taken care of the worst of them. Their beetle pressure is a lot less now than it was 5 minutes ago. Hence, the beauty of the Beetle Sucker 5000. That is a beautiful frame. I see brood, a lot of uncapped brood. Okay, they're putting banana all over me. They must see me as a hive beetle. Okay, the next frame is solid brood. Wow. Okay, this hive's about to pop, and we're gonna let it pop. I'm gonna go ahead and get out. We've gotten most of the beetles out of here. So there you go. We'll go on to the next one. I hope that you're not all like this, but I have a feeling that they're going to be. Get back down in your hive. Here comes the lid. Don't want to give me the old squash. No squash. Okay, you are in great shape. Beetles have been dealt with. Oh, beetle, beetle. Boo 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 boo. You're a hive beetle, and you're dead to me. Okay, this hive looks a lot weaker, which means it's probably going to have more beetles in it. And angrier bees. Okay, bees are up in the top, which tells me there might be a lot of beetles here. Let's have a look. Oh yes. Oh goodness. Okay. I have a feeling we're going to find a lot more beetles on this side of the hive here. This is where they were all in jail. Let's have a look. Oh, there's some right there. We're going to give them the old squash because I'm here, my hive tool's here. There we go. Yeah, you're toast, ladies. All right, or gentlemen, I don't know what the hive beetles are. I'm not a beetle guy per se, although I should be with as much experience as I have with the beetles. Oh, oh, oh. Holy cow. Okay. That is a beautiful frame. I don't see any beetles on it. You might find one, but I don't see any. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, I think now we're to the good bees. I'm going to, now that we've gotten the beetles, for the most part, out of here, maybe I should actually pull the bottom board and have a look down there. Yeah, I see some beetles down on the bottom. Let's throw these in here. Throw these over here. Put that up here. The old pinch. Let's go to the bottom. Okay, there they are. Holy cow! All right, so here's the situation. I've got just about a full canister of beetles, and we're on Hive 2. All right, let's see what we can see here. Sorry about cutting my head off in the camera, but I'm trying to show you the bottom of the hive and the top of the hive at the same time. So there's not room for all of us in here, but I know you understand. Oh, there's hive beetles right there. Holy moly. Now I tell you, I wanted to talk to you about something while I'm doing these hives, but these hive beetles are just crazy. Let's see if we can find a hive without a lot of hive beetles. Then I can tell you the story. Okay, there we go. Oh no! Holy cow, this is terrible. Okay, I'm gonna expect that the jail's gonna be over here where there's the fewest bees. Yeah, but I can't get to the jail. I've got to go through the full frames first. All right, let's have a look. I just saw a hive beetle on the other side. That's a nice frame of freshly drawn comb. There's a hive beetle right there. Oh, I had to smash a bee in order to get it. They're good frame here. All right, this hive is not too bad. But see, now we're getting into the sun. Oh, there's a couple of them on the outside of the hive here, though. Woo! Let's send them off to beetle heaven. This is Beetle Nirvana, ladies. This is Shangri-La. Shangri-La, Nirvana, the place you want to be. All right, anyways, like I was saying, we're getting into the sunny hives now, so I think that the shaded ones are the ones that are gonna have the most beetles. That was that one, this one. Probably the next 4 going up this row. We're gonna go this way so that I can tell you the story that I wanted to tell you ever since the beginning of this, this video. So now that we are in the sunny hives, I'm going to tell you a story. First, I want to ask you a question, and if the answer is yes, leave it in the comments below. If it's no, I want you to keep your eyes peeled because you may just find these things, and I'll show up. I'll put a picture on the screen. Have you noticed when you're driving around, out and about in your daily routine? Have you noticed these black poles popping up? They're about 7 to 8 feet tall. They've got a solar panel on the top, and then something that looks like a camera on them. Have you seen those? Have you noticed those? That is the question that I've got for you. I'll give you a while to think about it while I get my frame holder out. Oh, that's a beautiful frame. No beetles and a lot of brood. I'll give you a moment to think about it. Have you or have you not seen those? And I can tell you where you're going to see them. You're going to see them pretty much at or around intersections, either at intersection where there's a T in the road. It's going to be on the side of the road with the top of the T facing down the base of the T, so that when you turn the corner, it can read your tag. You're also going to find this probably about 50 to 100 yards from an intersection, facing the way that you would be driving. So basically where it can read your tag as you pass. This is beautiful. Look at that. Okay, we're not going to linger in this hive. They don't seem to have a hive beetle problem, and they also have a nice population, and they've got a healthy supply of brood. And I don't see any hive beetles on the bottom. And I only saw a handful when I opened it. So I think these girls are in great shape. Watch, we'll come back next week and it'll be a dead out. No, I don't think so. I think these girls are in good shape. All right, now you've had a chance to digest that. I'll put a picture on the screen right here. Well, actually, we'll put it right there. I have more room on this side of me. I'll put a picture right here of what I'm talking about. You ever seen one of those? See, it's got the solar panel at the top, then it's got a camera, and it's just a single black pole. Now, you might see these on lamp posts as well. Do you know what it is I'm talking about? If you do, leave it below. If you don't, when you find out, you're not going to be too happy. Now, I can promise you, if you haven't seen these before and you see one, now you're going to see one because I've shown you one. And this is right now, I know for a fact that this is in the southern states, Florida, Georgia, possibly Alabama, maybe North and South Carolina, and it's kind of moving out like a cancer, if you ask me. But this is called the flock system. This is some little tech wizard, and hey, I don't have anything against tech wizards. Love them. The only problem was when they start encroaching on my Fourth Amendment rights. I got a problem with them. Now, I'm not trying to talk politics here. I'm not talking about Democrat, Republican. I'm talking about all of our constitutional right to privacy being invaded by some kid who developed a system of cameras that talk to each other wirelessly and beam information back to a central location, a central database, where it is married with third-party data that is collected by other private companies. But the problem is that this stuff is fed or rented out by municipalities, i.e. governments, to keep track of where you're going and other things. Okay, we have hive beetles. All right. Oh, there you are. Too late, you're smushed. The old smusharoo. All right, let's get through this hive, and I'll continue to give you more information about the flock system. It's not going to make you happy. Now that we saw beetles, we are going to be Johnny on the spot with this. Oh, okay. They had them up top. Okay, now the flock system. So this is a wireless, solar-powered camera system that every time you drive by one, it is logging your tag number, the make and model and color of your vehicle, and we don't know what other information it's getting, but we do know that this information that they gather is being married to other information from people like maybe your cell phone provider, maybe your Kroger Plus card, or your Kroger, when you go in the facial recognition that is on their cameras now is getting from you. And they are pretty much tracking every single place you go in your daily life now. And I don't know about you, I don't recall them asking permission to track me. Not that I'm doing anything untoward. I mean, you know, I'm not a bandit. I'm not a fugitive. I'm not a bad guy. I'm a good guy. But the fact that that they're treating us all like bad guys, and these are beautiful frames, by the way. Just gorgeous frames. A lot of larvae, a lot of capped brood. I don't see any hive beetles. This hive is packed from wall to wall, from this side to this side. I'm going to call it good, and we're going to move on because we don't have a lot of time or battery power in that Beetle Sucker 5000. But let's run a scenario past you with the flock system, the flock camera system. Now, it's called the Flock Public Safety System, and it's part of a larger project called Gotham. I think it's the Gotham software suite that marries information from all of these databases, from all of the places where you are being, well, let's not say you, your property, your devices, your car, we're going to call that a device, your phone, your laptop, your earbuds, your dishwasher, your refrigerator, all these things that are Wi-Fi connected. I don't know whether you've noticed this lately. Now, I've noticed this on my Mac lately. Anytime I launch a new web app, or I go somewhere, or I put a new piece of hardware on my computer, a thumb drive or something, it asks me if I would like to allow access, and then it asks me if I will allow it to search the network, my personal home network, for any other devices. Of course, I always tell it no. Do I believe that it's not doing that? I don't believe it, because I know what data traffic looks like, and I know that it can see the data traffic, and it can see that there are other devices on the network. And I don't know whether you're aware of this, but every MAC address on every piece of equipment that you have, everyone's got a unique MAC address, and that MAC address can actually tell someone who's looking at the data stream what the type of device is and who the manufacturer of that device is. So whether you tell it yes or no or not, it still has the ability to sniff the traffic that's going past it and see what other devices are on the network. It's just asking for your permission, I guess, to try to sound like it's doing a good thing. But that's not the point. The point is that when they marry that data with other third-party data sources, and then the government leases or rents out the ability or access to that database so that they can look something up, it gets pretty terrifying. And I'm going to give you an example, but when we get to the next hive. Now, I tell you what, losing weight is great. But, okay, so we're going to have an aside from the flock system. I'm going to tell you about losing weight really quick. Well, not really losing weight. For all of you youngsters out there who aren't in my generation or the generations closely behind me, when you get older, your ass disappears. It goes away. No matter how fat you get anywhere else, your ass goes away. And that's a bad thing, because now my pants are all, you see people with plumber's butt, you know, yeah, I make fun of people with plumber's butt, you know. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are plumbers. My family were plumbers, so I'm not making fun of you. But it's a thing, and it's because usually plumbers are of my generation or, you know, a little bit younger, but they're bending over and your ass goes away, your pants fall down. Well, since I started losing weight, my ass is really going away. I mean, it's vanishing. It's like a magic act. I've got a belt on, pulled up. I might have to get suspenders because I've also got a back brace on, which is pushing my pants down while my belt's trying to hold them up. But now my belt's just kind of holding my pants down where the back brace is pushing it. It's not the battle going on with me. Personally, while I make these videos, it's crazy. I'm winning. I mean, my pants aren't going to fall off, but pants on the ground, why walk around with your pants on the ground? Did you ever hear that song in the early 00s when the thing was for all the young kids to walk around with their saggy pants on? I think they're still doing it now, but it's kind of silly. But kids do silly things because they don't know any better. All right, anyways, now let's get back to the flock system, and I'm going to give you an example of a situation. Right, I'm going to give you a situation that might illuminate you as to how this thing can be used against you. Basically, set you up to be searched without a warrant by just anybody who happens to be working there, even by a computer, without you doing anything wrong, without any knowledge of you doing anything wrong. Oh. Ooh, I had a beetle get out of there. There's a little trap door, but unless you hold it like this after you're going, the trap door can get open and the beetles can get out. We don't want that to happen. Let's take the bucket off. If we see a lot of beetles, we'll go after them. We're in the shade again, so we may. Let's have a look. And no beetles. I love it. I love it. Okay, well that doesn't mean attack me, ladies. Okay. Let's go in the hive and then we'll finish our discussion. Or we'll continue our discussion. I don't know if it'll ever be finished. I'm going to wait on you to comment before we finish it. One. Well, we have two. Oh, there we go. Two. That's a good thing. But I don't know that that's all there are. We're going to go all the way to the bottom in this one. Okie dokie. Let's remove this first box. I don't see beetles crawling out like crazy. Oh, I don't see beetles crawling around there like crazy either. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're just going to clean this up and move on. There's one beetle. Oh, one is okay. There's two. That's not 2,000. I'll take it. Okay. All right, ladies. That is a fairly strong colony. Now, here's the example. Here's the scenario. So let's say that you drive to work the same way every day. You have the same daily routine. Most of us do. You get up, you have your coffee, your tea, your milk, whatever it is you have. You get the kids ready if you got kids. You either put them on the bus or you drive them to school. I drive my children to school. My child to school. My other one drives herself. She's in college. But drive my son to school. And I take the same path to school every day because I know how much time it takes me on that path. I know what the traffic is on that path, so I know what time to leave the house and what time I'll get there. So I take the same path to his school every single day. And then I leave his school and I take the same path because it's the most efficient path for me to get to work every single day. Then I leave work, I take the same path every day to get back to his school, and then the same path every day to get back to the house. So that's pretty much my routine 5 days a week. Monday through Friday, that's pretty much what I do unless there's an anomaly. And that's what we're going to talk about, but not yet. Now, on the weekends, we tend to do the same things. On the weekends, we go grocery shopping on a Saturday, or we go to church on a Sunday, or we go to the bee yard. So I go to my backyard. You can see my cell phone dot hovering around there. You can see my cell phone dot hovering around over at the farm, and you see my cell phone dot hovering around here. And it's about to start hovering around in another bee yard as soon as I can get my stuff together and get over there and get the hive set up. They're not going to be active until spring when we do our splits, but I'd like to get the hive set up anyways. But that's an aside. It's not what we're talking about. We're talking about patterns, data patterns, trails like breadcrumbs that you leave behind every single day. And we're going to continue this discussion at the next hive, so we don't waste time. I just drank some warm water, no fun. Okay, now, where did we leave off? Patterns. Patterns are important, especially for computers and for data. Now, I'm not going to tell you how I know. Well, so I've been in the technology business for 30 years, thereabouts. So I know what I'm talking about. Okay, we're gonna set the foundation. I'm a learned man when it comes to technology, programming, data, networking, Wi-Fi, wireless, etc. Patterns are very important, especially for AI these days. Oh, lovely. I don't see any hive beetles. So now we've already established that patterns are important to AI, right? We know these. We know this. We know this to be true. We had a couple of beetles escape. So we know patterns are important. And we know that there is a active monitoring system. Holy moly. Holy cow. Holy cow. Holy moly. Ravioli. Wasn't prepared for that. Okay, a lot of them are going to be on the other side again now. Holy cow. Holy moly. Okay, that was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. Let's go through some of these frames. We'll probably have to do some beetle sucking, and then we'll get back onto the story that I'm telling you, because again, for me it's frightening. For you, I don't know what you think about it, but we're going to find out what you think about it. Okay, we have more beetles. Son of a gun. This hive was infested. All right, that was no fun. That was no fun at all. Let's have a look, see what else we can see here. There's one right there that we missed. Oh, you're gone. Okay, so we have girls upstairs and downstairs. For some reason, I still have a queen excluder on this hive. I'm going to remove that while we're here. That's all sugar syrup / nectar. Right now, it's a little both because our fall flow has finally started. I mean, finally. Well, I tell you what, I've been waiting on it and waiting on it and waiting on it, but these girls, oh, here's some more beetles. All right. Oh, there's one. Oh, and another one right there. Oh, gotcha. Okay, this is a beetle war today. So we're going to put this away, go down a level, remove the queen excluder, and then continue our discussion about the flock system, pattern recognition, your data, and the danger. Holy moly, I got hive beetles on my face. Where'd you go? Holy cow. Because that's where I think they're living. Oh yeah. Outstanding. Outstanding. Okay. Sorry, I was probably out of shot that whole time. I apologize for that. But the fog of war, I didn't have time to fix the camera. This was the ultimate beetle battle. And I can tell you this. You saw this hive when we opened it. Let me get rid of these bees so I can get rid of this burr comb. Brace comb, burr comb, whatever you want to call it. I know. You're yelling at me, I can hear it. Stop throwing that on the ground, you're attracting animals. I know. All right, here we go. So let me tell you, this hive was, I would say, infested with beetles. This hive, I'm going to say, is about 99% clean of beetles right now. We've just removed an awful lot of beetle pressure from these girls. It's going to make them very, very happy. All right, there we go. Let's move to the next hive and I'll finish my story. Outstanding. Pants on the ground, pants on the ground. Why you walk around with your pants on the ground? All right, let's continue with the story. Let me move this. All righty, you ready? Okay, pattern recognition. Data collection, your data, where you drive, on YouTube, what you watch on your phone, where you go, possibly what you say, because it's a microphone in your car, microphone, listening to what you say, GPS, where you go, coupled with the flock system, where you go, where you drive, coupled with third-party databases, i.e. facial recognition when you go into Kroger, because now, whether you know it or not, They're working on a system that is going to charge you money for groceries depending on your shopping habits, which they get from your Kroger Plus card and your facial ID. When you walk in, they run facial ID, say, oh, we know who this person is. This is Bug Farmer, and this guy buys a lot of sugar, and he always buys it no matter what the price. So when he goes up to the sugar counter, the digital tag will read $30 a bag for him. But when this person walks up there they're like, oh, well, 48 cents for your bag because, you know, you don't usually buy sugar. We want to get you hooked on it. Not really, but they're going to say, well, you look like you can't afford much, because they're making a judgment call about what you can and cannot afford, what you are and are not willing to buy. But they have that information. Now they're marrying it with where you drive on a daily basis and making that available to the government just by them leasing it. And no one has challenged this in court yet. I don't know why. This needs to go to the Supreme Court because, again, this is a violation of our Fourth Amendment constitutional rights here. Before I break this open, now I want you to think about that. Computers, pattern recognition, and all of the data that you have and your patterns. And if you step out of line, you go a different way to work one day, or you don't drop off your son this day and you go straight to work, or you decide to drop off your son and go someplace else and then come back and get him instead of going to work. Now all of a sudden you've just, in the grand scheme of things, if you're putting dots out there for all of the different possibilities of what you could do, now you have some outliers. Well, you put AI in the mix, AI could be told, hey, I want you to go through all the databases and I want you to find any outliers, people who are not on their normal schedule, not on their normal pattern. And I want to list those people. We're going to look into them to see what they were doing, because they may have been doing something, and what they're going to tell you is that it's causing the public to be unsafe, because this is the flock safety system, all part of the Gotham system. And you can look this stuff up. I mean, I've done some due diligence on it. It's out there. I might even leave a couple of links down in the description of this video so that you can go have a look. It's not conspiracy theory stuff. This is the real deal. You are being tracked, and when they start bringing AI into this to find anomalies to say you need to be looked at, that is, in essence, that's a search of your private information, of your stuff, without a search warrant. That is a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights, people. Probably a few other amendments as well. So I'm just letting you know, this stuff is happening. Okay, no hive beetles. That is a bonus. Let's make sure they don't come get me. Thought this hive was a lot weaker than it is, based on what I saw, but it looks weak on the front. And oh, I'm sorry. It looks weak on the front. But that may be because all the bees are up top chasing hive beetles around. We're about to find out. Anyways, that's the flock system. It's something that has got me very, very concerned, and I'm letting you know. This is not a video about the flock system. It's a video about bees, but I figured it was something to talk about today because it's really been on my mind, and really, it's got me thinking. I don't like the digital overlords. I like having privacy. I like being secure. Oh, in my own papers, as they say. Okay, we have some beetles. Not a ton. Okay, bring them out to me, bees. Send them to the edges. Send me the outliers. Look what I do to them. Don't be an outlier. That's the lesson of the day. Don't be an outlier. Okay, that looks like, oh, there's one. There's another. There you go. Oh, there's one. We'll give him the old flangy. The old flangy smash. Okay, there's one. Oh, two more back here. Boom and boom. We're going to the bottom. I've seen enough that tell me I need to go to the bottom. All right, let's do this. Get this ready. We're gonna get this on go. Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Okay, we have officially run out of juice. Oh no. Oh no, we're out of juice. I'm gonna say we've got about 95% of them, but let me tell you, look at what we're looking at here. Holy cow. We have collected a ton of beetles and a few bees. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go plug this in the truck and get some charge on it. Okay, here we go. Let's put these girls back on their bottom board. There you go, there's your hive. There's a couple of hive beetles that managed to escape. All right, excellent. We are going to let the beetle sucker get a little bit more of a charge before we go. But what do you think about the flock system? I mean, if you have an opinion, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe I'm flipping out about nothing. Maybe it's all for public safety. It's all for our own good. But I don't know when the last time something was done that is for our own good, right? I think this is a control. If you've ever read the book 1984 or Atlas Shrugged, you probably understand that what we're seeing here is not a good thing. And the problem is this, and I thought about this with my children, both of them, the college-age student and my son. I'm going to sit here and talk to you a minute, and then I'm going to go ahead and let you go after this, and then I'll finish doing this bee yard myself, and we'll talk about it next week. But let me let's wrap up on this note here. If you're from my generation, Generation X, or maybe even baby boomer before me, or maybe the generation or two after me, I don't know what it is, Y, Z, I don't know. Maybe Generation Z, maybe that's where they are now, or I think they're lost. I think that's a lost generation. Anyways, we grew up and we had privacy. I remember we got pagers. The very first thing were pagers. And I don't know whether or not they tracked pagers unless they had a warrant. I don't know whether or not just because you had a pager, they knew where you were going. So we had privacy, right? We still had the privacy that we grew up with. When we grew up, we had telephones. We had cell phones. We had cell phones now, cell phones. I mixed telephone and cell phone together. I mixed telephone and cell phone together and got cellophone. Anyways, we did not have cell phones. We had telephones that were connected to a LAN, and if anybody wanted to know whether you were at home and on your phone, they had to get a warrant in order to be able to tap your phone line. And they probably still have to be able to get a warrant to tap your phone line now. The only difference is now they don't have to get a warrant to know where you are with your phone. And I can say that that information is probably more valuable than what you may or may not be talking about, because if you're just a Joe nobody that's not doing any mafia stuff or breaking any laws, then I would say that them knowing where you are at all times, following you around town, and possibly listening to you on your phone is worse than them tapping your phone, which they needed a warrant for back in the day. So when we grew up, there were no cameras, right? There were a couple of closed circuit TVs. I used to watch Starsky and Hutch, and they would sometimes show the closed circuit TV, and it was all clunky and everything. But now they're everywhere, and I see them because I'm Gen X, and I came from a generation where we had privacy. I know what it is. I know what our freedoms and liberties are. We grew up with them. Both of us did. I mean, most of us did. Because I know what the demographic is of the channel that watches, of the people who watch this channel, and most of us, we grew up with, don't want to get bees stinging me in the butt. We grew up with liberty and justice for all, right? We understand that. We understand what true freedom is and true privacy. We get it. But the kids, since my children both of them have been alive, there have been cameras everywhere. It's normalized. To them, they don't understand because they have never had the liberty and freedom that we have. They don't understand what's being taken away from them, nor do they understand the ramifications of it. And I know this because when I try to talk to my son, and of course my college-aged daughter, because you get them in the universities and they start getting their heads filled with a bunch of mush that, so many things that they think are real that just aren't true. They get filled with a lot of mush out there, and we understand that. And I've sent my daughter to the university with a good foundation of, be a critical thinker. Don't just, suck up what you're given. Ask questions, think about it, come to your own conclusions. Take the good information and spit out the garbage, or smile and wave, boys, until you're out, and then do what you got to do. But the fact that they've been on camera their whole life, been recorded their whole life, had phones tracking them their whole life, they don't understand what it is that they are giving up. It's being normalized with them. And it makes me very, very sad. And as I see things like this flock system go into place, which is expanding there's surveillance on myself and my family. Myself, which understands what's happening. My family, which doesn't necessarily get it, understand it, or understand the dangers of it. It's got me kind of freaked out. And I guess that's why I'm talking about it today while we're doing bees. I mean, what else are you gonna do when you're in the bee yard? We look at bees, a lot of beetles. And man, I tell you what, the beetles. I'll leave you a picture at the end to show you how many beetles we got. Provided I can suck up some more if I can get a good charge on that before I leave. Yeah, that's why I'm talking about it today. Just, this is not a political talk. So if you're left, that's okay. It affects you the same as it does someone who's on the right. And I'm going to say that I'm in the center, right? I'm not going to say where I am. It's up to you to decide that. And I hope that regardless of your political affiliation or mine or what you perceive mine to be, that you still follow the channel. And because I like everybody. We all have something in common. I say we have more in common than we believe. And I'm talking about those who are opposite of what my political beliefs are, even though you don't know what they are. We enjoy bees. We enjoy life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We may have a disagreement on how to get there, and that's fine. But life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And when I see these things being threatened, and I'm telling you, this flock system threatens them. It's you take in the power of AI. And you add that on top of all of the data that they have collected about all of us. They know what you download. They know what you watch on YouTube, what you look at on Instagram or Facebook. They know what movies you watch, what you stream on Netflix and Prime TV and Paramount Plus and Disney. They know what books you read on your Kindle. They know what websites you read and look at. They know everything about you. And now they're all these databases, they're tying them together. And the problem is, it's a problem when it's private entities doing that, but you can always tell them no, or you can sue them if your data gets out, or if they do something bad with the data that they've collected on you against you, you can sue them. You have recourse. But when they put all this together in one linked database, I don't know if that's what Gotham is. I know that it's big and it's part of a multi-state, multi-device surveillance, keep everybody safe network is what they say. When you have that all tied together and everything that there is to know about you known about you, I would argue that they know more about me at this point than I do. And I do everything I can, with the exception of this YouTube video and being out there on YouTube. I do what I can to fly under the radar, right? I do what I can to fly under the radar. And they probably know more about me than I do. And then I see that they've got AI coming into the mix and it's going to be tying all this stuff together. I'm not a happy person. I'm a happy person. Don't get me wrong, be happy. I'm a happy person. But this situation doesn't make me happy. I was just wondering, maybe you tell me if I'm overreacting. You tell me in the comments, hey, you're overreacting. It's not a big deal. It's for our benefit. Convince me of that in the comments. And maybe I'm wrong, right? But maybe I'm not. And if I'm not, this affects all of us. It affects you, me. Doesn't care whether you're a dude, a chick, a fella or fellette. Doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican. None of that matters to this. It's gonna. If you drop off your kid every day, but this day you don't, you go somewhere else, they could suck your data in and say, what was this person doing that day when they went over here? Why? Let's see. Let's have their phone records. See if they stopped into any Kroger's. Did they buy gas? Here's their credit card transactions. Here's how many miles they went. Here's how fast they drove. And now you have situations where your car company, Allstate, they're trying to get you to put this little thing to plug it up under your, or maybe it's Progressive, one of them, plug it up under your dash so that they can monitor everything about your car. Well, I'm not going to have them raise my insurance rate because sometimes I have a lead foot, or maybe I don't, just in case my insurance company is watching. That's none of their business. What's my business is if I do something wrong and I get pulled over, the law deals with me, and that's the way that it goes. But they don't get to adjust my rates based on how I drive. They don't get to adjust my health care premiums based on what I eat or where I shop or the activities. What if I'm a skydiver, right? What if that's my hobby? I skydive. It's none of their business unless I fall out and I hit the ground and they got to pay off a life insurance claim, right? But, active people do active things. I'm not a skydiver. I would love to do it. I just don't think I have the nerve, and I'm not going to be one of those guys who jumps out of the plane when he's 90 years old. It's not going to be me, I admit it. But there you go, and there you have it. Anyways, I know the last 10, 15 minutes of this video has been nothing but blah, 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 blah. I have a lot to say about the subject. I thought about it when I was driving. I kept seeing these things sticking up on the side of the road, reading my tag the whole way here, and I just, really, I saw, what really set me off is I've seen them around on just black poles everywhere, but I saw one today. It was disguised, so they know that people are starting to catch on, because it was on a fancy lamp post with a lamp, but there was the solar panel, and there was the tag reader right on that fancy light post. And I'm thinking, okay, well, now they're getting on to us, getting on to them, and they're starting to hide it. And as far as I know, there's not been any legislation passed where they've asked us for permission to record everywhere we go. And then you take it to the next thing, and everywhere we went, everything we buy, everything we eat, it's getting out of hand. And somebody with more resources than me, and maybe somebody with a practice of constitutional law, should really, go pro bono and go after these people and try to get something to the Supreme Court, so we can turn off this surveillance state, because it is not good. And let me tell you, it's not just under this presidential administration. It was under the last one, the one before that, the one before that, the one before that. I think it started probably after 9/11. They used 9/11 for an excuse to do a lot of bad things to us. And they did it for the cause of safety. I think it was Ben Franklin, or somebody said, whoever is willing to trade, maybe it wasn't Ben Franklin, maybe Thomas Jefferson, or maybe even Alexander Hamilton, I don't know, but he who is willing to trade security for safety deserves neither. And yeah, we need to start accepting a little bit of risk for the liberty and freedoms that we have. And boy, I tell you what, I'm probably going to have 1,000 people unsubscribe to me on this video, and I'm sorry. I hope you don't. I hope you, no matter where you are politically, I hope you see where I'm coming from, because it affects you as much as me. And again, I'm not saying you're bad, and I'm not saying this party's bad, or this party's bad, or this party's good, and I'm not taking sides. What I'm saying is we're all affected by this, and we should all really awaken. We should all really awaken. So there you go, there you have it. That's all I've got to say about that. I will let you know what my final beetle take is. Watch the end of the video. I don't know whether you'll see me dump them out on the counter, or dump them into I'm not going to count them like I did last time. I think the record was like 1,385 is what I got from the farmyard that day when I introduced the Beetle Sucker 5000. I think we have more than that this time, but I'm not going to count beetles today. So you're not going to get that, but you'll see what the take is. Maybe I'll have them in a bowl of water, soapy water or something, or maybe I'll freeze them and dump them out on a paper towel and let you look at their little frozen bodies. I don't know, but I'll let you see that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the beetle battle. This was a seek and destroy mission, and I think we won for the most part. My Beetle Sucker 5000, the battery only got me halfway through the hives. We had that many beetles, but again, it's recharging right now, and I'll do the rest later. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. If you have something to say, by all means, please comment. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell to be notified of my new content. I do try to drop a video every Friday. I try to keep it light and have fun. Today was, we had fun. We attacked some beetles, but it wasn't very light. It was a kind of heavy conversation today. And again, I hope I didn't run anybody off. We're all friends here, right? I don't care who you vote for, what you believe. That's up to you. So with all that said, be happy, and I will see you next week. Take care.